If she does this, she's not just interested, she's quietly falling hard for you. Psychology tricks. Love doesn't always speak loudly. Sometimes it whispers, and only the attentive hear it. Most men completely miss the moment a woman starts falling deeply for them, not because she hides it well, but because they're looking in the wrong direction. They're busy trying to impress her, overanalyzing texts, replaying conversations, or wondering whether they should say more or less. And while they're doing all that, they overlook the quiet signs that matter most. Here's the truth most men don't realize. When a woman's feelings grow stronger, she often becomes less obvious, not more. Real emotional attachment doesn't always show up as flirting, compliments, or bold gestures. In fact, as her emotions deepen, her behavior can grow subtle, restrained, even guarded. Not because she doesn't care, but because she cares a lot. Psychologists point out that there is one sign in particular that's incredibly hard to fake. When you notice it, there's no guessing, no ambiguity. You'll know she's not just interested, she's emotionally invested. She's fallen hard, and here's where most men misunderstand what's happening. She's not pulling back to play games. She's not being distant because she's unsure. She's protecting herself. She's afraid of being vulnerable, afraid of revealing too much too soon. And deep down, she's hoping you'll recognize what she feels without forcing her to say it out loud. In this video, you'll learn the psychological signals that reveal when a woman has emotionally committed, signals most men completely ignore. You'll see the quiet behaviors, the restrained reactions, the subtle shifts that silently scream, "I'm falling for you." You'll also discover the one common mistake men make that causes women to hide these feelings entirely, often without the man ever realizing what he lost. By the end, you won't need to guess anymore. You'll know exactly what to look for, and when you see it, you'll understand that she's been expressing her feelings all along, just not with words. 1. The most misinterpreted sign, anxiety that looks like withdrawal. The most misread sign of all is the one that looks like distance, but is actually emotional tension. When a woman starts feeling something real, anxiety often steps in before confidence does. That anxiety can look exactly like withdrawal if you don't know what you're seeing. So don't rush to label her behavior. Don't retreat too quickly. What your brain is doing in that moment is trying to protect you from embarrassment or rejection by filtering out subtle signals that feel uncertain. That filter is useful for survival, but terrible for connection. That is why you miss signs that don't arrive loud and obvious. This is where psychology tricks and female psychology quietly overlap in ways most men never learn. Imagine this clearly. She laughs easily around you, not forced, not polite, real. Yet when you hold eye contact a second longer, she looks away as if she needs a moment to steady herself. Not because she's bored, not because she's hiding something negative, but because strong feelings create internal noise and she's trying to quiet it. She texts you first sometimes, which already breaks the just friendly excuse. But when she replies, her messages feel careful, measured, edited, as if she rereads them before hitting send. That's not indifference. That's investment mixed with self-control. She agrees to spend time with you, but when it's just the two of you, her energy shifts slightly. She fidgets. She seems alert, maybe even a bit restless, and your mind jumps to the safe conclusion, the one that hurts less up front. You tell yourself she's only being nice. You assume you're reading too much into it, so you pull back to avoid misjudging the situation. But here is the truth you must understand clearly. Anxiety is not the opposite of attraction. It is often the byproduct of it. When someone doesn't care, they are relaxed, predictable, emotionally flat. But when someone does care, especially someone who doesn't want to lose control or reveal too much too fast, their nervous system reacts first. That reaction shows up as guarded behavior, delayed responses, and moments of hesitation. Don't confuse restraint with rejection. Don't mistake composure for coldness. Don't assume silence means absence of feeling. Many women manage attraction by containing it, not displaying it. This is one of those psychology tricks life teaches you late if you don't pay attention. Be observant, not reactive. Be patient, not dismissive. A woman who feels nothing has nothing to manage. A woman who feels a lot has everything to manage, including how she appears, how she responds, and how quickly she allows herself to move closer. That subtle tension you sense is her pulling herself together, not pulling away. If you step back at that moment, you don't give her relief. You confirm her fear that showing interest creates distance. That is the opposite of how to fall in love. Instead, stay steady, stay warm, stay grounded. Emotional safety grows when someone doesn't punish hesitation with disappearance. Female psychology responds strongly to consistency over intensity. That means don't interrogate her behavior. Don't overcorrect by going cold. Don't chase either. Just be present and let your calm signal do the work. Calm is contagious. Clarity invites trust. When trust builds, anxiety softens. What once looked like withdrawal transforms into openness. Remember this: attraction doesn't always rush forward. Sometimes it pauses to breathe. Sometimes it tightens before it expands. Sometimes the quiet signs carry more truth than the obvious ones. That is why understanding psychology tricks, female psychology, and how to fall in love is not about manipulation. It is about perception. And perception is what separates the man who walks away too early from the man who recognizes something meaningful unfolding right in front of him. 2. Why genuine feelings make her more cautious. This is where things stop being simple and start becoming meaningful. This is where most men get confused and where many walk away too early. Relationship psychologists point out something uncomfortable but important. Men often fail to recognize these signals for a neurological reason. Male and female brains process emotional information differently. That is not an insult. That is biology. Most men look for consistency in behavior to confirm interest. Women, however, often change behavior precisely because interest becomes real. You must understand this difference, or you will misread caution as coldness. When a woman is casually interested, she is relaxed, she is playful, she laughs easily, she flirts without thinking. There is no internal risk, so there is no internal resistance. But when her feelings turn genuine, the tone shifts. Not because she likes you less, because she likes you more. That is the paradox most men miss. She becomes careful. She second-guesses herself. She slows down. She doesn't want to say the wrong thing. She doesn't want to come on too strong. She doesn't want to scare you away. That is not distance. That is restraint. And restraint is often the first sign that the stakes have risen. Why does this happen? Because she is no longer playing. She is no longer floating. She is emotionally invested. And when something matters, people protect it. Think of it like this: you don't guard what you don't value. You don't handle something gently if it's disposable. Caution is not the absence of desire. It is the presence of risk. That is the part that sounds absurd at first, but studies back it up. When a woman's feelings cross a certain emotional threshold, her behavior can start to resemble disinterest. Less spontaneity, more pauses, fewer bold moves, and even she may not consciously realize what she's doing. Her nervous system steps in before her logic does. It activates a protective mechanism, not to push you away, to keep you. She is not losing interest. She is trying to preserve connection by controlling exposure. This is where a high-value man separates himself from the rest. Don't react emotionally. Don't pull away to match energy. Don't punish caution with distance. Be steady. Be calm. Be present. A man who understands this doesn't chase, but he also doesn't vanish. He holds his ground. That grounded presence is masculine energy at its best. Not loud, not performative, stable, reassuring. Women are deeply responsive to that. If you want to attract women who are emotionally mature, you must learn to read emotional shifts accurately. You must recognize that seriousness changes behavior. Think about your own life. When something doesn't matter, you move freely. When it does, you slow down. You check your steps. You think twice. The same rule applies here. Her caution is not rejection. It is calibration. She is adjusting herself to something she wants to last. That's why trying to test her, ignoring her, or withdrawing to regain control backfires. It signals unpredictability, and unpredictability increases anxiety, not attraction. A high-value man doesn't create confusion to feel powerful. He creates clarity to build safety. That is how you attract women long-term. That is how masculine energy is felt, not announced. Be consistent. Be warm without pressure. Be confident without force. That combination lowers her guard naturally. As safety grows, caution fades. And what replaces it is openness, trust, depth. But it only happens if you don't misinterpret the transition phase. Remember this clearly. Casual interest is light because there is nothing to lose. Genuine interest is careful because there is. That is the difference. If you expect the same carefree behavior after emotions deepen, you are asking for something unrealistic. Don't do that. Adjust your expectations instead. You must learn to see caution as a compliment, not a threat. When a woman becomes more selective with her words, more aware of her actions, more measured around you, she is not pulling away. She is choosing you carefully, and choice carries weight. This is why emotional intelligence matters more than clever lines. This is why presence beats performance. And this is why a high-value man focuses on stability, not validation. Masculine energy doesn't rush. It doesn't panic. It doesn't assume the worst. It observes. It understands. It leads calmly. If your goal is to attract women who want something real, you must stop expecting emotional simplicity where emotional depth exists. Be the man who recognizes the shift. Be the man who doesn't flinch when things get real. That is how you attract women who are quietly, deeply falling hard for you. And if this made you see things differently, drop a comment right now and write, "I don't mistake caution for disinterest." Like this video, subscribe for more psychology tricks that sharpen your awareness, and remind yourself daily, when her energy slows, it's not fading, it's getting real. 3. The neurological and emotional defense mechanism. When a woman begins to fall for you, her mind does not move forward casually. It activates protection. The human brain is designed to defend what truly matters. And in today's world, where emotional exposure often feels risky, her nervous system goes on high alert the moment her feelings become real. She replays conversations. She dissects your tone. She analyzes silence. Quietly, she asks herself whether she is safe investing deeper. Not because she doubts you, but because she understands the cost of misreading intent in modern life, where signals are blurred and certainty is rare. Neuroscience confirms this reality. When a woman is genuinely falling in love, the same brain region associated with obsessive focus lights up. Her attention narrows, her thoughts loop, her internal dialogue intensifies. What looks like hesitation on the outside is intensity growing on the inside. This is where most men misread the situation. Her restraint is not a lack of interest. It is emotional self-preservation. Carl Jung said, "Where love rules, there is no will to power." When her feelings deepen, she pulls inward to regain balance, not outward to test you. That is why relying only on her words will mislead you. Words are filtered through caution. Behavior is filtered through instinct. Instinct never lies. This is where Old Stoic wisdom becomes essential for the modern man. Stoicism Win principles teach you to observe without anxiety, to read patterns instead of chasing reassurance, to stay grounded while others are internally processing. When you possess an iron mind, you stop reacting to surface signals and start recognizing consistent behavior. When she believes you are not watching, when she thinks she is alone in her emotional space, her actions reveal attachment clearly through repeated attention, subtle alignment with your routines, emotional mirroring, and a quiet pull toward your presence. This is not strategy. This is biology meeting emotion under pressure. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." That lesson applies directly here. The man who remains steady while a woman processes intense emotion becomes the emotional anchor she didn't know she needed. In modern relationships, where distractions are constant and attention is currency, consistency becomes rare and therefore powerful. Your role is not to push, interrogate, or demand clarity too early. Your role is to embody calm certainty. Certainty creates safety. Safety allows emotions to surface without fear. Repeat this until it becomes instinct. Observation beats interrogation. Patience beats pressure. Presence beats performance. This is where Stoicism Win aligns perfectly with attraction psychology. The man who watches quietly, moves deliberately, and trusts behavior over words communicates strength without force and confidence without noise. Her hesitation is not a wall. It is a gate. Gates open only when the environment feels stable, predictable, and emotionally secure. Your iron mind must stay intact even when signals feel mixed. Mixed signals are not confusion, they are internal processing. Your job is not to solve her emotions, your job is to remain grounded. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be and then do what you have to do. Be calm, be self-directed, be unshaken by temporary uncertainty. When she sees that your presence does not fluctuate with her inner storms, attraction deepens naturally, trust builds quietly, and guarded emotions step forward on their own terms." That is mastery. That is old Stoic wisdom in action. That is how Stoicism Win becomes real life. That is the power of an iron mind. 4. Memory as emotional investment. Here's something most men miss because it doesn't announce itself loudly, doesn't demand attention, and never comes wrapped in drama. Yet it may be one of the clearest signals that her feelings are deepening in a quiet, powerful way. Memory as emotional investment. When she remembers everything, it's not just about having a good memory, and it's definitely not coincidence. That offhand comment you made about your favorite childhood snack 3 weeks ago? She brings it up casually, perfectly timed. The story about your dog when you were 12, the one you mentioned once and never repeated? She remembers the details, the feeling behind it, the way your voice shifted when you told it. Be clear about this. Most people forget these things because they don't register as important. She remembers because to her, you are important. That is the difference. Don't dismiss this as politeness or friendliness. Don't tell yourself she's just being nice. This is how emotional attachment quietly forms in female psychology, and it's one of the most overlooked psychology tricks in modern dating. When a woman is slowly falling for you, her mind starts collecting pieces of you the way someone gathers keepsakes from meaningful moments, not because she's trying to impress you, but because her brain has begun to assign emotional value to your presence. You must understand this. Attention follows value, and memory follows emotion. Her mind is unconsciously cataloging who you are, what you like, what shaped you, and how you feel, because she is building a complete internal picture of you, not the surface version, not the highlight reel, but the real man behind the words. This is how to fall in love without either of you saying a word about it. Notice her timing. That's where the truth lives. She doesn't bring these memories up randomly. She mentions them when you're tired, when you're stressed, when the conversation slows, when you least expect it. That timing is emotional intelligence at work. It's her way of saying, without saying, "I see you, I remember you, you matter to me." Psychologists have long observed that when emotional attachment increases, recall becomes sharper and more personal, especially in female psychology, because memory becomes tied to emotional safety and anticipation. She thinks about you even when you're not around, and when she brings up something you said weeks ago, she's revealing that you've been living quietly in her thoughts, replayed in moments when she's alone, when nothing requires her attention except what she feels. Don't underestimate that. Don't rush it. Don't interrogate it. Let it be. Be present. Be consistent. Be authentic. Because this kind of attachment doesn't come from flashy gestures or forced attraction. It grows from small human moments that feel safe enough to remember. This is why men who try too hard often miss out, while men who stay grounded and genuine find women leaning in emotionally without realizing how far they've gone. That is one of the most subtle psychology tricks at play, and it works precisely because it isn't a trick at all. It's a natural response to emotional resonance. When she recalls your words, she's not testing you. She's connecting with you. When she remembers your stories, she's not collecting data. She's protecting meaning. And when she brings those memories back into the present, she's inviting you into a shared emotional space where trust quietly grows. If you want to understand how to fall in love in a way that lasts, Pay attention to this pattern. Don't perform, don't over-explain, don't retreat. Just show up as you are, speak honestly, listen carefully. Let her remember you for the right reasons. Because when a woman starts remembering the small things, she's no longer just interested, she's investing emotionally. And once that investment begins, the connection moves beyond attraction and into something deeper, something steadier, something that doesn't need constant reassurance to survive. That is the real power of female psychology, and once you see it, you'll never overlook it again. If this opened your eyes, don't scroll past it. Like the video, share it with a man who needs clarity, and subscribe for more insight into real connection and psychology tricks. Now engage with the channel by commenting this line below and mean it when you write it. When she remembers the small things, it means I matter. 5. Creating opportunities for closeness. Here is a truth many men sense but rarely understand clearly, and once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. When a woman starts creating opportunities to be close to you, she isn't being random, bored, or overly social. She's responding to an internal pull she hasn't fully admitted to herself yet. That is the signal. Pay attention. Don't rush to label it. Don't confront it. Observe it calmly. This is where attraction quietly deepens. She doesn't announce her interest. She doesn't make dramatic moves. Instead, she places herself in your orbit again and again in ways that feel natural on the surface. You mention you're heading to a specific coffee shop, and suddenly she's there too, not because she planned to impress you, but because her mind searched for proximity before logic stepped in. In a group setting, she slowly drifts closer to where you're standing, not pressed against you, not across the room, just close enough to feel your presence. That distance matters. That is not coincidence. That is intention wrapped in restraint. Most men miss this because they expect attraction to be loud. They look for bold gestures or obvious signals. Don't make that mistake. Be observant instead. A woman who is quietly falling for you doesn't chase in a reckless way. She calibrates. She volunteers for the same projects. She chooses the seat near you. She walks the same path. She aligns her schedule just enough to cross yours. This isn't manipulation. This is instinct. Researchers have found that when women feel emotionally drawn to a man, they maintain a very specific physical distance. Not too far, because distance creates emotional discomfort. Not too close, because closeness risks exposure. That tension you feel, that subtle awareness when she's nearby, that is her managing her own emotions in real time. You must understand this clearly. Proximity is safety. Proximity is curiosity. Proximity is desire expressed without words. When she stays within reach but not inside your personal space, she's saying, I want to be near you, but I'm still protecting myself. Don't punish that hesitation. Respect it. Be steady. Be grounded. This is where masculine energy quietly does its work, not through force, not through pressure, through calm presence, through certainty, through not needing to rush what's unfolding. A high-value man doesn't panic when a woman circles closer. He doesn't overinterpret or underreact. He notices. He stays relaxed. He doesn't demand clarity too soon. He allows attraction to grow at its natural pace. That is how you attract women without chasing them. When you remain composed while she creates closeness, you become emotionally safe. And emotional safety is magnetic. It's what allows attraction to deepen instead of collapse under pressure. Don't test her. Don't tease her about always being around. That breaks the spell. Don't pull away abruptly to regain control. That creates confusion, not desire. Be present. Be warm. Be consistent. Let her feel that being near you feels easy, not risky. This is how masculine energy expresses confidence without saying a word. You are comfortable with closeness because you are comfortable with yourself. Notice something else. She isn't trying to isolate you. She's not forcing one-on-one moments aggressively. She's blending into your environment. That tells you something important. She wants you to choose her presence, not feel cornered by it. That choice matters to her more than you realize. It's how she measures whether the connection is mutual. This is subtle. This is emotional intelligence in motion. A high-value man understands that attraction grows best when it feels mutual, not demanded. He doesn't need to label things prematurely. He doesn't need to speed up what's unfolding naturally. He allows space while remaining accessible. That balance is rare, and that rarity is what makes him stand out. If you want to attract women in a way that feels effortless, stop performing and start noticing. Closeness is communication. It always has been. When she chooses proximity repeatedly, she's investing attention, time, and emotional energy. Those are not casual resources. They are valuable, and she doesn't spend them without reason. Masculine energy, when expressed well, invites closeness without chasing it. It creates a calm center others want to orbit. That's why she keeps appearing in your space. Not because you demanded it, not because you asked, but because being near you feels grounding, familiar, reassuring. So don't disrupt what's working. Don't overthink it. Don't underestimate it. Be steady. Be observant. Be intentional with how you show up. A high-value man understands that when a woman creates opportunities to be close, she's already halfway there emotionally. Your role is simple but powerful. Don't push, don't pull, stay present, stay centered. That is how attraction turns into something real. 6. Nervous body language that signals attraction. When a woman is quietly falling hard for you, one of the most revealing signs is nervous body language that doesn't come from fear, but from emotional charge. This is where experienced men learn to read the room with precision and calm strength. When she fidgets with her jewelry, lightly touches her neck, adjusts her hair, or subtly shifts her posture while talking to you, her body is not betraying discomfort. It is revealing attraction trying to stay controlled. Her nervous system is responding before her words ever will. That's the truth most men miss in modern life, where people overthink texts but ignore real signals happening right in front of them. When her voice changes around you, sometimes softer, sometimes a little louder, when her breathing shortens or her movements repeat in a familiar rhythm, those are self-soothing behaviors. They are unconscious attempts to regulate emotion. Psychology has long shown that people only self-soothe around someone who matters to them, because the body doesn't waste energy on what it doesn't value. As Carl Jung once said, "You are what you do, not what you say you'll do." Her body is doing the talking for her. Here is where Old Stoic wisdom gives you an edge. The man who recognizes attraction does not rush. He does not press. He does not seek validation. He remains grounded, present, steady. He carries an iron mind in a noisy world. That calm presence deepens her emotional pull, because attraction grows strongest when paired with safety and certainty, not performance. Many men sabotage this moment by mistaking nervous attraction for uncertainty. They pull back too far or push too fast. But Stoicism Win moments are built on patience, observation, and restraint. They are built on letting things unfold without forcing outcomes. When she repeatedly makes the same movement around you, touching her collarbone, smoothing her sleeve, shifting her weight, body language specialists agree this often signals internal resistance, not fear. She is resisting the urge to reach out, to close distance, to make contact. Her mind is trying to stay composed while her emotions lean forward. That inner tension is powerful evidence of interest. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." In modern dating, this translates clearly. Master yourself first. Read signals second, act last. Your role is not to interrogate, not to demand clarity. It is to remain centered, confident, and attentive. A man with an iron mind does not chase signals. He allows them to come to him. In today's fast-paced world, where attention is fragmented and emotional intelligence is rare, your ability to stay calm, observant, and decisive sets you apart instantly. This is where Old Stoic wisdom becomes practical, not philosophical. Stoicism Win moments happen when you understand that attraction grows in space, in silence, in restraint. If you notice these nervous behaviors, do not call them out. Do not joke about them. Do not make her self-conscious. Instead, slow your pace, lower your voice, hold eye contact 1 second longer. Give her nervous system permission to settle. Calm invites closeness. Epictetus taught, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Be the man who is unshaken, present, and emotionally literate. Nervous attraction is not weakness. It is intensity seeking balance. When met with steadiness, it turns into trust. Trust turns into desire that lasts. This is not manipulation. This is awareness, mastery, and timing. Principles men already understand in business, leadership, and life. Apply them here. Strengthen your iron mind. Let Old Stoic wisdom guide your actions. Attraction will reveal itself without a single word needing to be spoken. If this message sharpened your awareness and helped you see attraction with clearer eyes, don't just watch and move on. Take control. Like the video, share it with a man who needs this perspective, and subscribe for more psychology-backed insight and real-world wisdom. Now lock this lesson into your mind by commenting this sentence below. Calm confidence reveals what words try to hide. 7. Emotional investment and costly signaling. Here's the truth most men overlook, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. When a woman begins to emotionally invest in ways that cost her something real, that is not curiosity anymore. That is commitment taking shape quietly and deliberately. Because in female psychology, attraction that stays shallow is easy, but sacrifice is never accidental. Watch closely. When you're sick and she crosses town with soup instead of sending a polite, feel better text, don't brush it off. Be present. When you mention a rough day and she cancels plans she was excited about just to listen to you talk it through, don't minimize it. That is not convenience. That is choice. And when she risks awkwardness, tension, or social discomfort to stand up for you when you're not in the room, understand what you are witnessing. This is what psychology tricks often describe as costly signaling, and it matters because people only pay a cost when the reward feels deeply personal. Time is a cost. Energy is a cost. Emotional labor is a cost. Comfort is a cost. She is spending all of them on you. Don't confuse this with people-pleasing. Don't mistake it for politeness. Be honest with yourself. She is prioritizing your well-being over her own ease, and that shift doesn't happen unless attachment has already taken root. That is how to fall in love in real life, not seen in movies, not spoken out loud, but lived through action after action that says, "You matter more than my convenience right now." Many men wait for grand declarations, but female psychology works more quietly than that. Feelings deepen first in behavior, not words. When she checks in without being asked, when she remembers the small details that affect your comfort, when she rearranges her life in subtle ways to make space for you, that is not accidental. That is intention. You must pay attention to what she does, not just what she says. Don't rush to label it. Don't test it. Respect it. Psychology tricks will tell you that attraction can spark quickly, but emotional investment grows only when safety and meaning are present, and costly signaling is the clearest proof that both already exist. She is no longer deciding whether she likes you. That decision has already been made. She is deciding how much of herself she is willing to give, and the moment she starts giving up comfort for your peace, time for your presence, and ease for your protection, that is the moment the balance has shifted. Be grounded, be steady, don't take advantage of it. That is where many men fail. They receive devotion and respond with entitlement. Don't do that. Be worthy of the effort being extended toward you. Show appreciation. Offer consistency. That is how to fall in love without forcing it, without chasing it, without manipulating it. Female psychology responds powerfully to men who recognize value and treat it with care. Remember, attraction can be playful, interest can be curious, but sacrifice is serious. When she sacrifices willingly and repeatedly, she has already fallen, whether she said it or not. This is why psychology tricks emphasize behavior over language, why female psychology highlights investment over promises, and why understanding how to fall in love starts with learning to read actions clearly and respond with maturity, presence, and respect. Hey there, thanks for staying with me until the very end. Here's the truth. When a woman does those things, she's no longer just a little interested. Inside her is a mix of emotions, fear of rejection, hope for connection, excitement, and vulnerability. She's scared you might not feel the same, yet she still wants you to notice her. So instead of saying it directly, she drops small hints, hoping you're emotionally aware enough to see them. My sincere advice to you is this: don't ignore what you clearly see. If you feel the same way, give her a safe signal. Let her know she's not alone in her feelings. And if you don't feel the same, be respectful enough not to keep her waiting. Clarity is often far more valuable than sweet attention. Now that you understand this, you already have more awareness than most men. Use it to act with confidence, integrity, and respect for her feelings and for your own. Next week, we'll expose a dark psychology tactic some women use to quietly win you over. Trust me, you won't want to miss that.